you start laughing at stuff that you would have killed somebody 2 years ago if they did that on a team. And as you feel like lax, you're like, I'm gonna let her get away with it because she's a character. You know what I mean? So it's like those kind of things that you gotta like just laugh at.
Moving along from there, you deal with all these things that we talked about. We dealt with non-negotiable expectations. We dealt with body imaging, physical fitness, things like that. So just about everybody in this group has dealt with competition season. Derrick, I know you probably are dealing with a unique situation being with the pandemic and all. How do you deal with constantly pushing motivation or motivating your kids to just keep moving forward and staying on track with the season?
It's like you said, it's unique right now because we can't even be in the same room with each other. So, but I mean, we still have our classes are still going on via Zoom. I teach out of my living room, or sometimes I go to the studio by myself and the kids all log in. And I have like 37 kids dancing. You know, they created their own dance space at home, so they're getting their full workout in. But as far as competition, just in general, if they got selected in my piece or my number that we're competing, they know they're a part of something that we need to make great. And I tell them all the time, because they're always like, did we do good? And I was like, yeah, you did good, but we can always do better. Like, we're never complacent. Like, we always strive to do better, and not just, and that doesn't necessarily mean the best at that competition. I have to tell them, I was like, our best could be different from what that judge at that competition's considered to be the best. But as long as I feel like we looked good and we did our best, and that's great. I'm fortunate enough to be around a real group of talented and competitive kids all the time. So they're always hungry. So that's not really a motivation conversation is not really needed often because they have their own internal stuff motivations from each other, which is great. But we do see a lot of great competition. And sometimes I'm like watching, I'm like, ooh, I wonder what we're going to end up. Because that was like fire, you know what I mean? But I like it because and a lot of times, especially here in Dallas area, you have a lot of talented people, a lot of talented studios. And so it's funny to me how like 1 week at like Jump or Nouveau, we could take first, and then the next week, the next studio takes first. But it's like, I like it because it keeps us working hard and keeps everybody motivating. But I like to let them know that the goal of competition is for us to do our best and to be as good as we can be, not necessarily the best in the competition. And that's nice. Everybody wants to win. You know, everybody wants to work hard to win. But as long as we put something on the floor that we're proud of, that's all I can ask for. So,
and that's one thing that I always told mine is the fact that you are not competing against the other teams. You're competing against yourself. You're competing to do your absolute best for you. And if you can walk off the stage and say, I did my best and I'm proud of it, then I was fine with that. Now, getting the competition, y'all know some of you know that I'm a very hard coach. So I'm not really one that always smile and stuff like that. So they were always working to get that smile out of me or to get that nod of approval. And so, but they also know that when I was proud of them, I gave them, I treated them to different things to let them know that, hey, I know I was hard, but here's something to show you that I appreciate you as a dancer. I appreciate the hard work that you put in, that you that you went forth with it. So it's kind of like finding that healthy balance, but just letting them know that just because I'm not smiling at you doesn't mean I don't like it. It's just that means I know what we need to fix and keep going. But, I'm also going to end on we did about because I always did a number system. Today was about an 8. We're going to still work for that 10. Or today was about a 5. We're going to run and then still work for that 10. So it's just like trying to find that healthy balance with them. Because if you punish them, you're punishing yourself as well. So you have to find that healthy balance with them.
I think also knowing your team and knowing your individuals, because this past season that I had one girl that, I was like, I don't know what I'm going to do, because she seemed so unmotivated. But in reality, it was so internal that she didn't display it. And so it frustrated me at first because I was like, am I just wasting my time? Because she was spinning on a college level. She was in the 8th grade, but spending on a college level, we were constantly bringing her new tricks and new tosses, and she'd like, okay, give me a second. And like, she would go off and do her own thing and come back and say, okay, I got it. We're like, what? But when I brought her to competition, it seemed like she shut down. But in reality, she was just internalizing it, and she didn't need, I had to switch my gear because I'm like pushing and pushing and pushing, and I need to see it. I need to see it. I need to see that out of you. But when I realized that only made things worse with her, then I had to take a step back and say, okay, let me watch you. Let me see what I can fix. And I had to change my tone with her. I had to change how I interacted with her. It was almost like I had to become more of a mother side with her, and I had to work her from a different angle. And then it was like we meshed, and we were finally coming together, and she did amazing, you know, and she pushed herself even more. But at first, because I was being that hard coach that I'm used to being, she was shutting down and giving up and saying, I can't do it, and I'm just done. I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it. And I'm like, oh no. So knowing your team and knowing your individuals is also a big thing.
I agree.
Good tip. Now the flip side of that, and we'll end on this conversation, is, so we know how you motivate your team, but you're the biggest motivating force on the team. So how do you keep yourself motivated? I know myself, after, Lord, so many years of competition and coaching, you do get to a point where it's like, I've seen that. Literally, when I go to a competition, and Nancy has seen me do this, I can go to a competition, and before anything, I can spot who's going to win just by looking at the team. It has gotten to that point. I can look at a team and say, they're going to take place. They're going to take it home, because, and it's never what they do on the court or, you know, on the stage. It's always what they do, from just walking around, how they handle themselves in the practice area. Like, I can, you know, just see that. And I always kind of keep my girls like at bay. I'm like, y'all go that way. Don't look. I don't want you paying attention. Because, you know, I don't want them to psych themselves out. But motivating myself after many, many years of competition, honestly, what motivates me is I look for that moment where the dancer or the performer, like where it manifests in them, where they realize, damn, like all my hard work has finally come to this and it paid off. Like, that's what always motivates me. But getting to that point, honestly, y'all, sometimes it takes coffee, Starbucks, you know, the Prozac, something.
Yeah. After 20 plus years of coaching, it's really difficult in a sense, but you have to look back at all of your wins, and then look back at all of your almost wins, and then to look back and say, okay, now what can I change? What can I do? And I have to be that driving force for them. So then they already know that my attitude is going to set the whole tone. So I have to start it kind of positive, and then I can go into coach mode. And so therefore I have to start psyching myself. So before I try to listen to the music that I like, think of something funny, laugh at somebody. And sometimes you just have to laugh at the craziness, the things that they do that you're like, oh my God, normally I would kill them for this, but today I'm just going to laugh at it, because if I don't, it's going to really sink everything. So it's like finding that balance within yourself to say, you know what, I'm doing this because I want to make them better. And I'm making them better people. I'm making them better just members of society, period. And also I have a lot of my older dancers that come back and they still talk to me today. Like, I remember when you pushed me to do this and you pushed me to do that, or you had me do this. And using those moments help keep you grounded and help keep you, you know, in coaching mode. Because 20 plus years, it's rough. It's rough in them streets, as they say. So
You've been in the game, bro. Ashante, you were gonna say something?
For me, it honestly with my kids is, I remember being in a guard and hearing so much negativity of what I wasn't doing that it dragged me down. And so for me as a coach, I don't ever want to do that to my kids. So, and that keeps myself motivated. So when I see something positive they do, I get excited and I want to show them that it's good. And then I go, but you know, you messed up here.
One more time.
How do we fix that? Because I have them instilled that when they go to college, nobody's going to tell them how to fix it. They're going to look at them children and say, fix it. And that's it. So when I teach them actually how to be instructors and how to instruct each other and how to build each other and how to ask questions. How do I put my hands? Where are my feet? What is my body doing? I said, when you learn something, you ask me the same questions. I want them to ask me questions because I constantly want to learn from them, not just them learn from me. Because I feel like it's a give take with that. I'm not so wear down mentally and physically that I can loosen the reins a little bit and let them go. Because to me, if you hold on so tight, if you're so rigorous, that takes a toll. And it takes a lot of wine. And I don't want a lot of wine. You know what I'm saying? So I want to be able to go, whew, y'all got it. Just let me walk away. And sometimes I got to walk away. I go, oh, hold on. And I just walk away. And I got to get a breather. And I come back in and they like this because they know I'm pissed off. But they know enough to correct themselves. Like, you know what I'm saying? Just as much as Nancy said, you have to know your team has to know you as an instructor.
And Derrick, you coming from the studio world, you know, your kids are used to that rigorous schedule. They're used to those higher expectations. But what about you? Like, what keeps you going, especially because I know y'all probably compete 10 times more than a school team. Yeah. So what motivates you?
I mean, it's tough. I'm just kidding. Now, after a while, it's kind of like I have to just reset and be like, what's the goal? What's the purpose? And my purpose is to make all my kids a better dancer, point blank. So like, sometimes it's like, how can I do that? And I know we're all humans, right? So like, one thing that I don't stand for is negative energy. Like in rehearsals, like I said, our time, everybody has valuable time. So when we're together, we have to be positive and accomplish our goal. So like, if I don't even, like, now I'm to the point to where I don't even try to, like, fix the situation. If I feel like you're coming from a negative place or you're bringing bad energy to the room, go outside, leave, tell your mom, come get you, whatever it needs to be, because we're working on something here, and then we'll deal with that consequence later. So most of them understand that, like, you know, while we're here, we need to work, and I understand it. And I tell them too, I go, everybody's entitled to a bad day. There'll be some days you don't want to see anybody in the room, right? You keep that to yourself, and as long as you do what you're supposed to do, then we ain't gonna have no problems, right? I'm not asking you to come in and be like, hey, everybody's my best friend. If you ain't feeling everybody, that's fine, but you do what you're supposed to do, and then we'll be good. So for me, I do it the same way. Like sometimes I try to motivate myself, like, man, I could really be on the beach right now, but now I'm going to have this rehearsal today. We're going to come in, we're going to get through this, and we just try to keep it positive. And then it pays off. Like you said, you start laughing at stuff that you would have killed somebody 2 years ago if they did that on a team. As you feel like lax, you're like, well, I'm going to let her get away with it because she's a character. You know what I mean? So it's like those kind of things that you got to, like, just laugh. And they always say that I'm a pushover compared to some of the other teachers because, you know, our ballet teachers don't really play anything. They can't even have their hair not in the right bun or they get kicked out of class, you know? So with me, I am a little more relaxed on that thing. But like I said, as long as when we're together, if we're there to work hard and do what we need to do to be able to work hard and support one another, then we'll be good. There's like no problems. But yeah, I have to have that same motivation for myself. Be like, I'm here to make them a better dancer and better people, like just a better human. So we can all come together and work hard.
And what's always a good thing is when you know that when your team knows you and you know you're having that bad day and like, oh my God, he's having a bad day, and you can look on their faces like a fear, like, oh my God, he's having that bad day, and you just have to turn it around like instantly, like, okay, y'all know what, y'all look like I'm about to kill y'all, and it's not even about y'all, it's about me at this moment. So let's just have let's kind of spice up practice a little bit and make, you know, have that fun practice a little bit. So sometimes you have to have those throwaway practices so that you're not always in this rigorous mode, you know, and make it fun.